Well, hello everyone. Today in the shop, we're going to be building a gun rack. Y'all stick with me and I'll show you how we're going to do it. When I set out to build a gun rack, I started by designing the rack on the computer. This allowed me to create an accurate layout for where the guns will rest. Once I was happy with the design, I exported it as a G-code file and loaded it into my CNC machine to handle the precise cutting. After that, I moved over to the router table with an 1/8 inch round over bit, giving the edges a slight smooth curve for a clean finished look. I've got it sanded like I want it. I didn't get these perfect, but I'm gonna put felt along where the gun's gonna sit. Now what I want to do is the cross pieces. I'm gonna have 2 of those, which will make a shelf underneath the guns. And then I got a little piece for the back. So what I'm gonna do now, we'll go ahead and cut these horizontal pieces and get them. What I'm planning on doing is mortise and tenon them in the sides on both of them. I just feel like it'll hold better. Let's cut them and I'll be right back. Got the what's going to make the drawer. It's going to mortise and tenon into here and then here on both sides. So the width is 23.5. So I cut these. This should be 3/4 inches. 23.5, 22 3/4. What that does, the tenon is going into each side half the distance. They're 3/4, they're going in 3/8, 2 3/8, 3/4. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a marking knife and I'm going to mark all the way around. This is set on 3/8. And this, and I probably do 2 tenons, not one long one. That way you still have some meat in the middle. That's what I'm looking at right now. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now, I'll probably get all this marked off and get it like I want it. Then I'll probably do the mortise first, and then I'll make the tenon to fit the mortise. like I say, the marking knife, the marking gauge is set at 3/8. So I'm gonna take my time and get me a good knife edge right here, because this knife edge is what's going to meet up at the inside, so it needs to be nice and crisp. So it's got a knife edge all the way around. What I'm going to do, I've done kind of started. What I'm going to do, I'm going to come in quarter of an inch on each side. That's going to be the first thing. What I'm thinking about doing here, if I make these things 1 3/4 inches long, see, all right, this will stay, and I'm cutting this out. So that gives enough meat, I think we'll be fine. What I done, I took 3/16 in from here, from here to here, 3/16 in from here to here. That leaves 3/8 inch wide. Let me double check that. That's exactly right. 3/8 inch. I came in a quarter, so that's going to go away. Right down through here is going to go away. And right down through here is going to go away. The quarter over here, and this in the center, where you don't see any lead, that's the tenon. So what I need to do is mark my mortise and gauge where I can mark the vertical piece. So I go across to here and get right in that knife line. It's got that one marked. Then I come put that right in that knife line. And now I've got it both sides. Now I can come lock this thing together. Now I'll get on the other piece. This piece here, we'll lay it out right there. Okay. Now what I need to do, we'll mark 1/4 inch. Well, I probably need to do that now. We'll mark 1/4 inch on each side. Well, y'all, that's the problem. You can't see. Okay. Okay, that's 1/4 inch from the side. That will start the mortise. All right, I also need to come in 1/4 on this side. Right there. basically what we're going to do here. We are going to go from this line to that line. There. Now the other side. Okay, so what I done, I liked I messed up. The spreader that gonna make the shelf for the shelves and whatnot is almost a 1/4 inch narrower, so it will set back in here. So I measure from the same side every time, and that's where I come. That's where the tenon's gonna start. So I set the depth gauge. I like this setup right here. You just go right down to the surface and then lock it in. Then you set your depth gauge. I got a gauge is 3/8 thick. You set it on here and drop it down. Now it's going to go down 3/8. That's what it's made for. So what I do, I'll start in the center, and we'll just go ahead and cut this thing right quick, and I'll show you how this thing works out. All the time you're playing with it, you need to have it unplugged, because that thing eats you up. All right, here we go. So what I can do, I'll bring y'all in. Y'all see what we just did. So this is the fence. The fence set right here. I had it set for 3/8 deep, and it would run from here to here would be that one. Put it over here, it would run from here to here will be that one. So what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and square these ends up. There's your mortise. This little jig I threw together, I probably did it 8 or 10 years ago. I got 2 fences where you can sandwich it together. The thing about it is, I forget now exactly what, I need something in a hurry, so I'd grab what I could and made this little thing. And that's what I cut these with. However, it's not big enough for me to come up and catch these. You know, the fence runs out. So I got the side bumps. I got the piece to where I can do individual mortises, but I need something that will come there and hold me square, but that I register off the bottom. That way I can come to this one and it would do the same thing, thus putting these mortises in the same place. So what I need to do now is come up with a jig. Let's go do that now. So what I'm going to have to do, if I'm pushed all the way there, if I made it 1 inch wider than that, and I would say if I come over this way, I would make this, so it needs to be about 2 inches wider. So this thing is 5.5. Why don't we make it 8 inches? That way we got enough. All right, if it's right there, we're going to need to, well, we can, I got 2 3/4, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it 3 inches and then we can fine tune it. Then I'll need something to act as a fence right here. So if that's the case, we probably need to make it, just make it 4 inches, and that way we can trim it down to size. So I found this piece right here. I looked in my scrap bin. I've got 9 inches. So we'll just make it 9 inches. Now I need to square this end up, and then what did we say, 4 inches? Now I'll cut it 4 inches. Just as a recap, I've got my little fence, and this is going to ride against it right here. So if you look, I don't know if we can get where we can see this or not. This way we can reference off this side and it can be the same distance up. If it's off just a tick, as long as they're both off the same, and this is the only way that I know to get this thing to where it's the same. Being the same is key here. Okay, these are the mortise that we've got set forth. So they're right in a line. So what we got is, these are the vertical, horizontal pieces. These are the vertical. They'll be standing up holding the guns. Them are the horizontal pieces. Horizontal, see, I've already marked off the 3/8 all the way around. Now I need to cut the tenons in the horizontal pieces. They'll have the tenons going into the mortise. Now let's get our tenons going. If you remember, we went ahead and, you see, it's going to sit like this. This will be up. One-headed marked out with a marking gauge. So I need to set the depth. I put my flat top blade in this thing. I try to get it at the apex of the circle. It'll be at the highest point. So I'm going to raise the blade up where it's just under it, and I may need to sneak up on that just a little bit. Okay, so basically what we're doing is I want the width of the, we're shooting for the width of the tenon. We want it just to fit in it. We don't want to force it in it. It's got to touch, but really that's all you want is for it to touch. Because what's got to happen when we put this together, I'll have another set up here for the top one. That'll be a little small one. But if you think about it, I got to have all of the pieces in. So you glue in, put it together, glue it and put it together. And then, but when you get for the top one, they all got to go in at the same time. So it's going to be a little open time. That gives that wood time to expand. So if you have to take a hammer and drive it in dry, you'll never get it in because the glue has got moisture in it and makes the fibers swell up. We're going to, I choose my auxiliary fence. I don't know what I'm going to call it. Anyway, it's twice as tall as the normal fence. So, but what it does, it gives you so much more reference surface to time you put. You just got so much of this right here that's just easy to, where this right here, I mean, you're there. For this situation, this right really comes in handy. So what I'm gonna do now is we're just gonna move it to, it just comes into this. I want it, if you remember, I'm about 3/16. So this is an 1/8 inch blade, this flat top is. I think we're there, so I'm gonna go ahead and get I got the width set, I got the depth set. Now we get the other 3 sides, then we'll come back and we'll make the actual tenons that slide in there. Okay, I've got my stop box set for my first cut. I'm gonna take this one and edge it out. And then if it works, I'll do the other 3, and then we'll go to the next one. So here we go. Hearing protection on. Cause the racket. Take my calipers and I rest off of this every time, and I go to each set, and that's what sets my block. So I'll come in here then. Just like that, because it's, as I'm looking at, it's on the right. Now I'll slide this right against it. Then I'll bring my there. And that's the way I do it all the way across. All right, we got our mortise and tenons. We got one more to go. I'll decide where to put it. I got to work some more lumber up. But right now, this shelf on the bottom. We're going to dry fit them together and just see what we're looking at. Yeah, that went together. I just need them to slide together on. Don't need to drive it in by no means. Okay, they are homed up. So that went together about like what I was hoping for. But now the moment of truth. Do these line up? And I see a spot right there that I need to work on. A little bit of debris. I've had debris to bite me. Keep something from going together like it's supposed to. But anyway, well, if this lines up, oh no, looky here. Out of the 3 or the 4, that one's in, a 30 second, just enough you can tell it. So that is why I normally, with the roundovers, I let it fall in. If it's a 30-second haul, you'll never know it right there with it automatically in like that. Now I'll get me a piece right here, and it'll have the French cleat on it. Male and female part. I'll fix the other one where it mounts to the wall, and you just hang it up there. But this thing's coming together real nice. So let's work on that piece right there. What do you say? Well, I got a piece of stock cut to 2 3/4. That's the width that I need. Now I'm going to cut as close to the center as I can. If it's off a little bit, it ain't going to mount to much, but I'm going to cut a 45-degree angle on the board. And that's going to be the mating pieces of the French cleat system. So in essence, this is going to mount to the wall, this is going to mount to the gun rack, and this is what's going to hold it. I'll put me 2 holes here, 16 inches apart. You need to screw it to the studs. Then you just set it up on it. So you ain't gonna worry about no fasteners, nothing like that. I got the piece, the French cleat cut. This will be screwed to the wall, and this. So I'm gonna show. I got the back done. I did a grooves and dados. So I made the out of the same stock. This is 5/16 thick. This is the back. I did a dado right there, and the end grains, you know, it is not going to change lengthwise. So I only went 3/16 here and here. However, it will change this away. So to allow movement, I went ahead and done the grooves in the pieces here. So basically, it's just, I'm not going to glue it. It's just going to sit in there and kind of float. That way, any movement it wants to do, it can do. So I tell you what, we're going to do a final dry fit. So what we want to do is go ahead and we're going to dry fit this thing. Okay. You see how easily they go together? That's what you're looking for. So, yeah. They just fit right together. So we got to have this one See, you can glue these individually, but when it comes to this one, it's got to go all at the same time. That one will hit. There it goes. So that's what it's going to look like, and like I say, this will bolt against the wall to come in and do the French cleat. French cleat holds good, and you ain't got to hold this up here. You know, this is real light to hold up to get her into a stud. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to take my block plane and I'm going to chamfer all the edges, so when you go to putting that thing together, it's slide together much easier. You'd be surprised just knocking that point off right there how much easier that'll make that go together. What I have decided to do is just go ahead and glue it up like I normally do. So here we go. Start this way. Well, we got her clamped up. We just let that set up. I didn't get much squeeze that, so I think we're going to be okay. Joints are up good and tight. We got her clamped up. I guess the next thing to do is put the shellac to her. For the ones that's followed me, y'all know that whenever possible, I use shellac. It's more forgiving, but I have another plus for you. These good brushes, you don't have to throw them away. You just put them in denatured alcohol, let them soak there for a little bit, and they come right back. I've had this brush right here. I give a lot for it, but I've had this brush here for a couple years. So that's, you know, That is another plus. However, we're going to go ahead and so here's a 2-pound cut is what I'm using, the flakes. I keep saying I'm going to show y'all how to I mix that. I did just, I don't know, one thing and another. You know, so one of these days I'll show that to you. Well, I think that's going to do it. I got my shellac on it. All I need to do is drill a couple holes here to where they can hang it on their wall. And I might add another coat or two. I got a card scraper. I got the hook, if y'all know a card scraper, where you come at an angle and you develop a hook where you fine tune a board. But I leave the other side without the hook for you just rub across here, and it just takes the high spade where you can feel the difference. It's almost like going over sandpaper, and that's usually it. That's all it takes. It's a little bit right there, and that takes when I normally put it on there pretty thick with that brush, you come back across it with this and get it the high spots smoothed down, and then you take an applicator. It's just a rag with cotton balls in it, and go over it, and it's silky smooth then. So I've already, well, I thought I did. I may have to go over it again, but like I already did that. That's yeah, these sides are good. So that's going to do me on this one. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, I hope you learned something. I always do. Always a little something here and there you will pick up along the way to make everything go just a little better. So therefore, y'all be safe, and I will catch y'all on the next.